Well, hey there, it's Elke.
And Jen.
And the two of us are here for another Zazzle Tech training on Thursdays
Yeah.
at 10 a.m. We're a little bit late because internet issues, but hey, we're here and we're ready to rock it with showing you how to create beautiful Zazzle store icons for your store categories.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a little demonstration for you today. And so do you want to say anything before we get started or no?
Well, first of all, if you are new to Zazzle and you're wondering what a store category icon is, it's an image that you add to your categories in your Zazzle store so that they can be found on your Zazzle homepage of your Zazzle store. Because
yeah, maybe we'll screen share and show that.
Sure.
Maybe a little easier. But yeah, when you have a Zazzle store, you create categories so that people, and then you can put your products within those categories, and it helps not only your customer find your products more easily, but also for you to organize your store. So, but the thing is that you can have more categories, like you can have an endless number of categories, but what we want you to do is create 6 categories that have thumbnails so that they're visible on your homepage on your Zazzle store, so that there's at least 6 that are guiding your customers into the depths of your store.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, and Jen's got the screen share on now. So yeah, and what we have here in our sample store, please, this is still a store that's selling for us on Zazzle. Please don't copy, but in terms of the designs. But here on the Zazzle store, we've got the homepage set up, and here are my 6 categories that I put up when I did this. And so I do have more categories than that, but I wanted to showcase 6 of them so that it's easy for the customer to get more into my store and make sure that they can be have the products that they're looking for, they can find them. Mm-hmm. But what I wanted to say now is that most people don't take advantage of how they create those images for those store categories. You can have a very lucrative way of doing that so that it's more distinct from the fact that it doesn't just look like a product category. Some of the ones that we've done here are specifically the picture that you can get as a screenshot of one of the in situ options for each of the products that Zazzle has in the product views. So that's step number 1. We're not going to show you that because it's basically screenshot that and upload it into the icon.
Like, for example, an in situ item would be, this is a wine label that we've designed, but because it's on an actual wine product or wine bottle, then you can take a picture of the wine bottle. Or, for example, we have other products that you've recognized, like the mugs, for example, and the canned coolers, etc., where it actually looks like the product's real and it's like 3D.
Well, yeah, in a background, so that you have like these nice defined squares that show the product in a in situ option. So then you've got these nice square grids when you do your store categories, so that it looks like, okay, this is a set and I need to click in. But you can see already, even though the in situ for the doormat looks really cool, and that's why I picked it, it doesn't fit with the rest, so it feels like it's actually just products that we're clicking on. And so we want you to go one step further and level up to really pretty images that you can make in Canva and then upload instead of just a screenshot. And Canva's free. Mm-hmm. So take it away.
Sure. Which product would you like me to
whatever you want.
Screen share?
Yeah, whatever one you feel like doing.
Well, we'll do the napkin really quickly. Take a picture of the napkin here.
And again, here what you're doing is you're screenshotting the area. If you're not able to screenshot that area, like let's say it's on like a wine bottle or something, then choose then there's some other things that you could do in Canva. You can get rid of the white space in the background, or you can
so I'm just screenshotting. I by accident wasn't screenshotting. So
okay.
Well, I mean, that's what we isn't that what you wanted, or no? I'm confused. You can do it if you want.
Oh gosh, no, you're doing it. I know. We just, if you're not going to get the background, I can tell people it's easy. You just click on the thing and it says get rid of background, and it'll actually isolate the image for you.
Where in Canva?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
exactly.
I did.
That's
Okay. That's what I did. I wasn't screen sharing the first time by accident, so I took another screenshot while I was screen sharing to show people what I was screen sharing.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
And then now I'm going to go to Canva and I'm going to create an icon. So is that what you wanted?
I want them to see everything, all your tricks, so that because it's a Tech Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So that people can, whoever watching can really get this. Because, yeah,
So
I know you can do it, but I haven't actually done it myself. So let's do this.
Well, we're now on canva.com. And if you haven't heard of Canva, Canva is a really amazing tool that you can use that's free. And you can create really beautiful social media images, anything to do with promotion. And then you can also use it to create your store category images as well. And so what we're going to do is create a template here. You can, I have to see if the restrictions that I have, if I'm not logged in, you can't create like dimensions of your own size. So sometimes you can choose which dimensions you want to do. But what you do is just a template. And then what we can choose is an Instagram post is a square. So it's like the exact same dimensions that you would probably want to do. They have some really cool templates that you can already use. You can use any of these templates for free. I wouldn't suggest, and we don't suggest, to put them on your Zazzle products because there is copyright issues there, but you can use any of these images in your store categories without worrying. But I'm going to quickly then choose a blank one. And what we're going to do is upload the picture that I just took on screen share, and it says I have to sign in to upload, which I didn't want to do. But what we can
let's just sign in, and it's okay.
Okay, give me one moment, and I'll stop the screen share, and you can chat for a second.
Yeah. So the reason that you want to use Canva is actually not just to create a blank, right? Unless you were going to add something later. You're going to add something.
Well, I was going to add something later, but that's why I asked if you wanted to do it, because I think you have a vision, and I
have a vision, but I don't know how to do it. So
okay, well then here, take the computer.
No, stop, please. Just go and do it.
Okay.
You know how to.
I know how to create it, but I was going to do something, and then now, just let me know what you would like, and we can play around with it.
We want to have an in-situ image that's not just a blank background.
It wasn't going to be.
Okay. You go for it. All right. The reason that you want to do these things while Jen's logging in is it'll distinguish it from looking specifically like another option for a product. Also, it will tie in a theme to your store that you might be trying to develop with your banner, and also because you can also do your banner in Canva. But today we wanted to do very quickly show you how to do the store categories and focus in on those, because what we see when we're doing a lot of store critiques, especially now that we've got all these students in our Z Supercharger, which is a fantastic program, by the way. We're open for enrollment. You definitely need to get in. You can be in even if this is the first time you've ever been in any of our courses. It's just so amazing, and you don't need any prerequisites for it. And what it's doing is basically us going into your store and doing like critiques of how your store's set up, how your products are made, how you're putting your store categories together, and so on. And so this is just totally relevant. So are you screen sharing already?
I'm
awesome.
Screen sharing.
So yeah, check back with us. Send us a message, ask us how you can get into the Z Supercharger. It's starting in end of November, but there's already some people who are in pre-bonus, and they're already getting so many bonuses. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we are.
Okay, so I've uploaded the image that I took, and I deliberately added image as part of the background so that you can see now when you click on the actual image that we have added, what you can do is if you have...
I have to do this.
If you have a, I think it's also with a free account. It might be a paid account with Canva, but if not, then just take a screenshot of just the actual product image and don't use the background as well. But you can go into effects and you can click on background remover here, and it'll actually remove the background for you really easily, which is really cool. And so now I've created the image of just the napkin, and you can use the drag and drop tool to crop it. You can do anything in terms of like what you would be able to do in the Zazzle design tool. Actually, it's very similar. So you can rotate it, you can make it bigger. It's just drag and drop and select. So now what we can do is we can go to photos. Photos is a link up between, I think it's Unsplash, and other copyright-free images that you can use. So you can literally search anything to do with, backgrounds, people, certain themes, etc. And I already see one that's kind of cool here. That says food. Let's see if it's a table that I liked. I like to choose in situ products or pictures here so that we can add it to something fun. So it makes it look like it's actually on the table, but we can also search table here. And what we're going to do is add it to a white table. I saw this one here. So when you click on the image, then it goes into your template that you've created here. And what you can do is drag and drop it to make it bigger. You can right click it and say set image as background. And then you can see that it kind of looks a little bit wonky because the background has been filled up. What we're going to do is double click on it, and then you can move the background around here and drag and drop. And as soon as you say done, then it will create that effect for you, and it will shift that photo over. You can also resize it here when you double click on it. And I just clicked the minus button to get some more space. If we wanted to make the in situ actually bigger and have it like that really quickly so that we get some more image of the laptop. You obviously want to make sure that the image looks similar in terms of size and proportions with your napkin. So for example, now because I made my my background a little bit bigger, maybe my napkin looks a little bit too big or too small compared to the background image. And this background image might be something that we do or we don't want to use, but you can go around and play. Maybe I actually want to end up choosing this one, and I don't actually like this background image. You can easily click on it and then hit the delete button, or there's when you have this selected here, what you can do is delete using the icon here. And I chose this one now because it looks nicer with the flowers. I'm going to right click again and set the image as the background. And what I'm going to do is shift it over quickly. And then I'm going to make it smaller and actually make this a bit bigger so that I can see the flower and maybe the scissors and a little bit of the hand, and the napkin goes in here. Because I screenshotted it and I removed the background, it also removed the shadowing. Unfortunately, in Canva, I haven't found out a way to add a drop shadow. So if your your image looks a little bit flat here, there are some other effects that you can try and see if they would work for you if you are able to use them. As I said, I think you might have to have the paid version, but if not, then just take a screenshot with the actual photo having the drop shadow, and this works really well with invitations as well. But here you can easily, as I said, create your category icon, and now we can make sure that it looks good and it's the right proportions. Make sure that you always, as I said, look at the background image and what you're putting your product picture on, and make sure it kind of makes sense visually. Because if I had my napkin be very, very large and the hands are very small and the flowers are very small, people don't visually understand that this is actually a napkin. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And you want to have all the proportions properly. And of course, don't have images overlapping on top of your in situ. If you've chose, for example, hands and then your napkin, like as I just had it right here, it doesn't make sense like that either. You want to choose an image that looks visually appealing.
And then also some people like to add, take away maybe the part with the hand, so that there's room for like a strip of color, and then that in that strip of color people will add the category name, which is really helpful because that again distinguishes it a bit more from the fact that it's like a header or a label rather than it being like an advertisement for a product. And
so we can do that as well. I've just bumped out the image and I actually did like that. The flower now is very large, but obviously you would want to choose a background image that makes sense for you and your product. But here, what you can do then is go to the text button, and Canva has some really amazing text fonts for you to use. What you can do is click any type of text at this point, and then there's the drop-down menu here, and you can go and explore all of the fonts that you're able to use, which is really cool. We like to use a simple font that's easy to read. I wouldn't use a script font because the category image or thumbnail is tiny. So you want to make sure that any customer coming would be able to see the actual written aspect of it, right? So we say 50 and fabulous, or actually birthdays maybe,
Yeah.
or celebrations. You obviously want to think about what your categories will be before you create your images. Let's just make sure that people can read it. So we're going to make it like this. And then you can,
as long as you're consistent with all of your categories, so whether like if you have birthdays and then now you have home decor and so on, your home decor, like don't use the same flower and then add like a pillow to that. What I mean by consistency is the birthdays font that you've used and how you've positioned it, like whether it's just plain on white or you add like a colored line so that it makes it look like it's a label. Each of those would be consistent, and then you could have different in situ images that suit the product that you're trying to showcase. Because and the biggest no is don't put it in proportions that don't work. If you want to have a pillow, put it on a couch. Don't put it next to a flower, because the flower's small, the pillow's big. And even this napkin, like Jen said, it's not going to fit with this flower at this point because we made it really big.
And if you, now what you want to do is download. You click the download button. If you also, as we saw when we went onto Canva at the beginning with all of the templates, and you wanted an actual template before and you didn't want to create your own because you need some inspiration, you can click on the template button and they have a whole bunch of templates for you to use. I just created my own because the templates that they do offer are a lot of like text-based things, and they're for specific uses. Like let's say like they created birthday cards or quotes, etc. And that's really not what you want for your categories. You want a really nice in situ image and then just a label at the bottom, because if you add too many things, it just gets overwhelming. But to each their own. I have seen some Zazzle designers who have created like a collage for a category because they like to showcase many different products within that category. But it's up to you. I like to have it clean so that the customer can see one big image and then have the text be very clear. If you wanted to copy this exact same format, say you really liked the text placement and you wanted to have a duplicate of this so that you can work with this going forward for your next category, you can click this button here, which is the duplicate page, and it literally creates a second page for you with everything the exact same. So now what I could do is I could delete this product, change out the background
and the product.
And then I would be able to use this as my base as a template and change this from birthdays to, let's say, holidays, for example. Then when I click the download button, you can decide which type of file you want to download it as. I would suggest it as a JPEG or a PNG. And here, because I just added another page, it asks me if I want to download all the pages or if I want to download just one specifically. And then when you click the done button, it will pop up in your downloads folder. And then when you have that, you're able to go into Zazzle and then upload it to your category image.
So now you are armed and ready to create pretty store category icons for your Zazzle store homepage. And these also show up on your product page so that it's like a nice little top banner of 6 images, if that's where you want to go, but we recommend 6, so that the customer, again, on another page can find it really easily to maneuver through your store. And it's not that hard to manipulate the Canva images to make them look really good. So thank you so much for watching. Or do you want to do one more thing?
I wanted to remind everybody not to use Canva images or anything you create on Canva to sell on Zazzle. It is only for promotional uses and for categories, icon images. If you want to use it for your banners, for anything to do with your media, like your media files that you upload, then you can use it for your social media. So Instagram, Facebook, if you're on YouTube, etc. But please don't use them on Zazzle to sell on the products, because some of the images that you might be using are underneath copyright law, and you don't want to get in trouble with Zazzle, because if you do use something that's not yours, you can be taken off or have your designs removed. So just wanted to clarify that. And thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them in the description of the video, and we will chat with you soon. Bye.
Bye.